Malcolm Stuckey unfortunately got shot in the head and died later that day. The two were held without bond and were facing life in prison for charges of first-degree murder and 2 attempted murders. After sitting in jail
All right, y'all, we back. We had to switch sides because y'all do not know my mother cannot hear out of her right ear.
Why the hell you gotta explain that to everybody? Like they need to know why we switching sides. Maybe we just want to switch sides. Fuck, they need to know all that for. Don't pay no mind to him.
I'm from the dungeons like a ninja turtle. My life is hell, I ride on the flames, look like I'm surfing. Adidas jogging suit on me like I'm jumping hurdles. Big old backwood in my hand while I'm driving, I'm swerving.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy Elijah, and today I'm back with my mom. And we finna go ahead and get into the criminal history of King Von. You remember King Von?
Yeah, that's a storytelling dude.
The storytelling dude. Okay, good. See, she getting to remember. Soon we're gonna play a game. We're gonna see if our mom can memorize these rappers' names, because there's a lot of them, and she is not good with that. Alright? So y'all wanna see that video, comment down below right now. So we play that game. It's called Guess the Rapper. That's what we're gonna do. It's called Guess the Rapper. We're gonna play the song. Do you know who this is, Mom? Alright. This video is not all the way up to date. This came out last year in May, because he still got some stuff going on, but we're gonna go ahead and get into it so you can find out who King Von is a little bit, his criminal history. You ready?
Let's go.
3, 2, 1.
King Von is one of the newer rappers in the Chicago hip-hop scene. With his hottest track, Crazy Story, doing over 30 million views on the World Star Hip Hop YouTube channel at the time of this recording, King Von is making a rather impressive name for himself in Chicago hip-hop. But what makes King Von's career even more iconic is the fact that King Von hasn't even been rapping for a year yet. He claims that the only reason he got into rapping was because he's done everything else, and not because he had some sort of knack for rapping. What King Von mainly means by that is that he's done almost everything when it comes to the streets. So all he has left to do is tell his stories and experiences through his music. Even though King Von doesn't have an extremely lengthy rap sheet like some of his peers, King Von definitely has a unique criminal history due to the outcome of some of his cases. Well, without further ado, here is an exclusive inside look at the criminal history of King Von. King Von's first...
He just dropped his album today, or his mixtape, whatever you call it. But yeah, so stay tuned for that. I did a reaction earlier to him and G Herbo, so go check that out. It'll be up after this. Back to it.
With the law were not very well documented due to the fact that he was a minor at the time of his arrests. But luckily, he gave a little bit more detail of those arrests in an interview with DJ Small's Eyes. In the interview, King Von mentioned that his first arrest was for an armed robbery where apparently he robbed someone at gunpoint and stole their car. When King Von was caught, the police sent him to a juvenile detention center where the charges against him were ultimately dropped due to King Von being so young at the time. But the only way to make this deal work out was that a judge required King Von to attend a boot camp for a certain amount of time. For the other 3 arrests, King Von gave almost little to no detail, but apparently one of them was for possession of a firearm. King Von didn't say how this case ended, but we can probably assume that he was sent to a juvenile detention center and got convicted, but under a certain type of condition where it gets taken off of his record after he turns 18. King Von also mentions that he was locked up at one time for 15 months, and the time before that for 14 months. Von gave no details as of why, but it apparently happened. King Von's next arrest happened when he was only 19 years old, in 2014. According to authorities, King Von was at a party when a guy named Malcolm Stuckey was steady eyeballing him. King Von must have taken offense to this because...
You heard how he said that?
He's steady eyeballing him.
The way he was steady eyeballing him.
The eyeballs was popping out.
He then grabbed his friend Michael Wade and left the party in a gray vehicle. Around 45 minutes later, King Von and Wade returned to the party, but parked in an alley near the home. The two then got out of the car with loaded guns and headed to the front of the residence. Malcolm Stuckey and 2 other people were sitting on the front porch when King Von and Wade opened fire on them. Stuckey and the other man fled down LaSalle Street, but both ended up getting shot. The other man on the porch was shot as well as he was attempting to run inside the home. In the end, 3 people were critically wounded, but Malcolm Stuckey unfortunately got shot in the head and died later that day. After the shooting, King Von and Wade ran back to their car and fled. Both of them ended up getting arrested days later.
That is a terrible picture.
That's what I'm saying.
What's up with the hairdo? Oh, they made him cut all his little weave out. That must be it.
You said weave.
I don't know, cause what is that? Is that his hair?
That's now. This is old. This is he was 19.
Well, what the hell happened to his
That's
hair?
2014.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a bad hair day for sure.
Yes, it
And he
was.
looking kind of messed up too.
Yeah, he don't look happy either.
Yeah. All right.
During the investigations, over 20 shell casings were recovered, and Wade even admitted to police that he had fired a gun 15 or 16 times at one of the victims. King Von, on the other hand, refused to talk to the authorities. The two were held without bond and were facing life in prison for charges of first-degree murder and 2 attempted murders. After sitting in jail for 3.5 years, the trial finally began. The trial lasted a total of 5 days, and the outcome is, honestly...
So, they was in jail for 3.5 years and the trial only lasted 5 days. What type of stuff is that?
That's some bogus mess right there. But at least that time should count towards that then. But dang.
I guess.
Man.
No, I
I'm
can't
gonna get
do
this
it.
shit done and out the way. You know, like, let's handle this and be done.
Don't trials be taking a long time usually?
It just depends on
Yeah,
what the evidence and
you're
all
right.
that, you know.
Wade got sentenced to 28 years in prison,
Man.
while King Von was acquitted of all charges. After 3.5 years in Cook County Jail, King Von was free. Since his release, King Von was staying out of trouble and began rapping. Von also moved to Atlanta to be around his good friend Lil Durk, who is also an extremely successful rapper. With a promising future ahead of him,
Remember Lil Durk, right?
He looks familiar. Is that the one with the blonde hair that we was looking at?
Mm-hmm.
He looks much younger in that
Remember you
picture.
was talking about with the weirdo hoes?
Yes.
We're gonna do another Lil Durk reaction because we left her with a little. That was just, you know what I'm saying, his like, not his deep side of the rap music. Y'all know my mom's style of the music when we reacting to all of that, you know, all that good stuff. So I'm gonna show her some of the good stuff. You feel me? Stay tuned. Hit that sub button.
and all while being surrounded by many other successful people, you would think that King Von would never risk all that to commit some stupid crime. But sadly, that was not the case. Because on May 17th, 2019, King Von was arrested once again in Fulton County, Georgia. Sources say that King Von was involved in a shooting that occurred on February 5th, 2019 at the parking lot of the Varsity in downtown Atlanta. Officers apparently responded to a call at around 5:45 a.m. after gunshots were reported in the area. When they arrived, they found a 23-year-old man shot to the lower extremities. The man was found outside of his vehicle in the parking lot and was taken to Atlanta Medical Center in serious condition. Thankfully, he survived. After 3 months of investigation, police determined that King Von was the alleged shooter and eventually ended up arresting King Von moments after that conclusion was made. King Von is still locked up to this day and is being held without bond. Sources close to the situation say that the man King Von shot was attempting to rob him and that it was done in self-defense. Internet detectives are speculating that King Von will get 3 years, while others say he'll get off completely for self-defense. Another large majority claim that King Von is done for. I guess only time will tell. Well, there you have it. The entire criminal history of King Von in one single YouTube video.
Alright?
So wait a minute. He's in jail now?
No, he ain't in jail. He on tour with G Herbo. We're gonna be at the concert on 29th. Yeah.
So then we will get some more storytelling videos.
Yeah, that's what took her to the O. That's his latest story right there.
Okay.
Crazy Story 4. We reacted to that. Y'all seen it. Y'all already know King Von doing good on this channel, so we're gonna continue to bring it. Chicago is, you know what I'm saying, right around the corner, so y'all messing with it, so we're gonna keep on bringing it to y'all. 20,000! Stand up! We lit! All of that, man. So what you think about King Von? Like, that's crazy. His homie got 28 years to life.
Man, that's
And
some depressing shit right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy. Crazy. That's a long time right there. That's a long time.
We know people with longer time.
Right.
Okay.
But that's King Von criminal history. You got anything to say?
No, just wow. You know, at such a young age, you know, hopefully he can be done with that and just move on with his rapping career.
Right. I think yeah, him and Durk is fighting cause you know how they blocked the guns out in the video.
Yeah.
They fighting a gun charge case or something. Something
Yeah,
like
I see
that.
they kept talking about guns and different things of that nature.
Right. So maybe we'll get an updated version whenever all of this unfolds.
Right.
But yeah, King Von gonna be here 29th with her, whoever else they bring out. We going to the concert. I'm gonna keep telling y'all this, man. Hit that sub button, hit that like button, and y'all gonna see some of that. We're gonna be lit, but we about to get up out of here. Peace. Peace. All right.
You can get the leave of me, the heart of me. You pick and choose what part of me. That love shit used to torture me. I thug it out to fuck you me. That gangsta shit a Prodigy. I know my folks is proud of me.
I'm tired of these niggas playing with me, bro. I'm really tired. Bro, like that. Like that. You really